What's going on, beautiful people? Thank you for tuning in and watching. I appreciate your appreciation of my videos. You guys are all amazing, wonderful beings, and we're gonna talk about microdosing and how it can potentially help people who have anxiety, right? There are studies right now being performed. The door for scientific inquiry into psychedelics and their use has only recently opened up again, and there's a lot of promising evidence, promising studies. You guys know about the Johns Hopkins study and how one use of psilocybin mushroom helped people deal with their fear of death and help them with their anxiety and their depression. And so one of the things that is being researched is how we can use microdosing, meaning taking small amounts of a psychedelic, say on a daily basis or every other day. There are many protocols for microdosing, and how it can help someone who gets anxious, who has a lot of anxiety, goes out into the world, maybe has some form of, social anxiety or any kind of anxiety about worries and everything else, right? How it can help you with anxiety. Now, actually, I'm going to make two arguments here. One, it can help you with anxiety. One, it can cause you more anxiety, okay? You guys know how much I love psychedelics, and I'm a microdoser myself. I am microdose as I'm making this video, but there is a way where microdosing, taking small amount of psychedelic, can actually increase your anxiety. Now, before I go on into the video, I realized something. Some of you guys, maybe you don't know what microdosing is or what it does. Essentially, you're not tripping balls, you're not talking to aliens, you're not having communication with your ancestors, you're not seeing visuals, you're not really tripping, you're not having a mystical experience. Your ego's still there, but it's there less. And everything is more enhanced. You're basically in the flow. Let's put it this way. Microdosing puts you in the flow state. That's what it does. So how can that help you with anxiety? Well, the flow state is characterized. I don't think I said that right. Okay, the flow state is, I want to say it. The flow state is characterized, okay, fuck it. You guys know what I'm talking about. By being in the present moment. When you're in flow, think of it. If you want to know what flow feels like, think of the last time you played a sport and you were really into it. Or if you're having sex and you're really into it. Or if you get so involved in an activity and you just flow into it, right? And that's such a wonderful state. With microdosing, you just get in that state, pretty much cruise throughout the day in flow. And how can that help anxiety? Well, it's simple. Anxiety is usually associated with projecting your awareness into the past or into the future. That's usually what causes anxiety, right? Think about it. When you think of, oh, fuck, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills for this month, you feel anxious, you close up, you feel tension in your body. There's an anxious thought, you're in the future, and you're thinking about it negatively. You're worried, you're fearful. It's a fear state, right? Or you think about the past, like, oh, fuck, man, I really regret not doing that, or I fucked up then. And you beat yourself down for it. And you maybe feel guilty about something you've done in the past, or shameful. Again, it's a fear-based idea, fear-based thought. You're thinking in the past. Boom, you're anxious. You're projecting your awareness into the future, into the past, in a negative way, usually causing you to feel anxiety. Well, when you microdose, and this is the just very common thing with psychedelics, even if you trip on high dosages, you're stricken into the present moment. You're just, boom, your awareness shifts into the present moment to the immediate experience of what it's like to be this human incarnation, this human spawn, and what the experience of that feels like. So you can see how microdosing can help with anxiety, because it puts you in the present moment. It puts you right here, right now. And another thing, the way psychedelics work is that they essentially bind to your serotonin receptors, and they cause you to feel euphoric, right? They cause you to feel really good. So that's another added bonus. It's putting you in the present moment, and it's making you feel good. And it synchronizes the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere of your brain, causes you to connect things more. Parts of your brain are more connected to each other, so your five senses are enhanced. Your hearing, your touching, and everything else, your visual acuity is enhanced, causing you to feel good, causing you to feel present. So I think now, to speak a little bit metaphysically, I think that psychedelics, when you consume the consciousness of the psychedelic, you are taking in that consciousness, that spirit, and tuning your frequency into that. And we know that psychedelics tunes you into the frequency of love. So you tune into a more positive frequency naturally. Like, you'll find yourself microdosing, you'll just find yourself being grateful. Like, it just spontaneously happened where you're like, oh, thank you, God. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy in the moment. I'm so happy about life. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's ecstatic. So I think also, to speak more spiritually and metaphysically, ingesting the spirit of this fungus in the form of ergot in LSD or in the form of mushrooms, that tunes you into a more positive frequency, into a more loving frequency. So even when you sit down on a microdose and you start to think about the future, you think, how am I gonna create a better future? And you think very positively. And you think of it in the moment, right? Like, you're like, okay, now you start to think very practically. Okay, for example, I want to have 1 million subscribers. And here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna create 2 videos a day. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to do this. So you think about the future in the present. You think about, what do I have to do now to make it happen? And you think about it positively and solution oriented, as opposed to seeing the worry and the problem. And again, I think because it tunes you into a positive frequency. The molecule, the psychedelic tunes you into a more positive frequency. So your thoughts are more positive, causing you less anxiety, right? Negative thoughts cause you anxiety. Now, that's one part of it, okay? So that's where it can benefit you for treating anxiety and sort of having a more flowing existence, right? Joyful existence, day to day, moment to moment, put you in the present moment. Now, here's the other argument that I'm going to make. It can actually increase your anxiety. And here's why. Being in that psychedelic state of mind all the time, especially if you're microdosing and you've already tripped several times and you've seen the absurdity that is society and the absurd way society is, and now you decide to microdose, so you're now fully aware of how fucked up society is, and you're fully aware of the absurdity of social norms and behavior, and just the whole enterprise of civilization. You're aware of it. You've tripped several times. Your ego dissolved. You've come to realize oneness and unity, and you've come to realize the absurdity of social conventions. Now you come back, and you're microdosing, regularly. Guess what's gonna happen? Society will not make sense to you anymore. See, I am living in a perpetual, constant, permanent state where society is absurd to me and all social conventions are absurd and it's all a big fucking joke. That's the kind of world I'm living in. That's the kind of dimension that I'm in. Now, why I don't get anxious at all? In fact, I'm very relaxed in society because I have completely stopped giving a fuck. Maybe 90%, I'm not gonna say 100%, but 90% I stopped giving a complete fuck about society, about not society, but about the way I behave myself in society. I have little to no regard to social conventions, in behavior. I really don't. I really just do whatever the fuck I want. And luckily, I'm a pretty kind-hearted guy, so if I was like a fucking an evil guy or something, like it would look pretty bad probably, right? So I'm like a kind guy. It's not like I'm harming anybody, right? But I just kind of go on and do whatever the fuck I want. Like you guys see me, I just walk around, make these videos. People come past me. I don't care. Like I don't care. And I'm always just expressing myself in the way the divine wants to express itself. So it doesn't cause me anxiety because I've already made my peace with it. Society's absurd. I've accepted my eccentric ways of being in society, and people are always coming up to me, man, you're a different guy. You're a unique guy. You're an interesting guy. You're this, and this. You're different, man. You're different. You're crazy, bro. You're crazy. People always tell me that all the time because they see it right in front of their eyes, right? And for me, I've already accepted myself, accepted my eccentric ways. I've accepted that I'm different, that I'm doing my thing. And so it doesn't cause me anxiety. Now, where it can cause you anxiety is when you resist it, when you still want to try to fit into society. Because look, being in that psychedelic state of mind all the time through microdosing, especially if you've tripped before and you sort of see the lies and deception that is society, and if you try to fit in, the microdose will not let you. The psychedelic will not let you. So where it can cause you more anxiety is when you go out into society and you try to act the same way society wants you to act, the normal standard behavior, and now you will feel really fucking weird. Like it happened to me a few times where like I see myself getting sucked into trying to act as a member in society and like trying to be normal again, not to a certain extent, and I just get this fucking anxiety right away. Like it just hits you right away, and then I realize I'm like, oh, now I'm being inauthentic. This is my now, because I'm always microdose, right? My sort of way of knowing if I'm being authentic or not is, am I feeling weird? If I'm feeling weird and anxious when I'm out of my house or somewhere, I'm like, yeah, there is some sort of, you're not being honest or authentic in this moment, and that's why you're feeling anxious. So this is where it can add to your anxiety. But I think that's a good thing, no? Because then it shows you it shows me the blind spots all the time. All the time. There was a situation yesterday where I felt very fucking weird. Came back home right away. I knew, I'm like, you weren't being authentic in that situation. So I'm gonna fucking fix it. When I see that person, I'm gonna fix it next week, because now I know where the inauthenticity was. Because I felt so anxious yesterday. I felt so fucking anxious. The psychedelic will fucking slap you in the face when you're being inauthentic. So it can add to your anxiety. However, I think that's a good thing because it shows you the blind spots and right away you fix them. So that's it. That's where I'm going to end this video. God bless you all. May the spirit of the psychedelic, whichever psychedelic you consume or want to consume, may it show you the truth, show you the way, show you the Tao, and show you love. And then that's about it. Love you guys. I love every single one of you. But don't forget to subscribe or you're gonna sleep with the fishes.